What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. As you see here, I've got the excavator. We started splitting a little wood, and I don't know that I've showed a few small clips on this thing, but I've never really showcased it. So we've got a Dyna SC14. They're made out of Michigan. This is a little older model, not too old, but it's not as nice as the new ones. But this thing here will really make some nice firewood without all the work. So basically, you some of you may not be familiar, but you put your logs on there, roll in there. This thing does all the sawing and the splitting. We've got some logs over there, some over here. This is all hickory behind the excavator, and then that's all the firewood. Not quite sure that I've got as much as I had last year, but we're going to get through this pile and kind of see what we got. Y'all stick around and let's make some wood. All right, we got the log deck loaded. Some of these are a bit longer than I would like. Reason for that being, we can haul 20 foot, right at 20 foot on that quad dump truck there. So rather than cut it 12 to 14 to fit this, you get more in the truck if you make them long. I need to move this thing forwards and clean all that shaft out. I usually put some buckets under there. My buckets got full, kicked them out of the way, filled that back up. But just gonna run a table or two just to show you how this thing does, and then we'll move forwards and we'll clean all that up, because the way I do this is I will move this forwards each time and just keep carrying the pile out. Last year my pile went from pretty much here where I started somewhere, I don't know, maybe 10 feet 15 feet on the other side of that log, and about as tall as I could get it. So you can imagine all that being wood, and we sold every bit of that before December. So I think I might have had a little more last year, not real sure. I haven't found a good market for the hickory just for selling it as cookwood, so I may split that up and mix it as we go. Big thing for me is this is just a byproduct of land clearing. I can turn this into some money rather than just waste it, burn it, what have you. So let's get this thing fired up and show y'all what it'll do. Now with this thing, hydraulic powered, so we've got a hydraulic conveyor. It's pretty warm out today. I usually will crank this thing up, let that run for a while. That gets some of that hydraulic oil circulating. And by the manufacturer, you should run this saw a few times and about not too bad, just to get that bar oil flowing. And usually what I'll do is just wipe that off, and I can look down there See that little trail of oil? We know we're oiling good. It does have a valve here to control the flow of oil. That thing is kind of finicky though. Halfway through cutting, you'll get through, and if you don't adjust it, it will be dumping some oil. So you got to keep your eye on that. But for the most part, this thing is pretty simple. Go idle it up here. You just got 3 levers. Log forward. This is your saw. Log backward. This is the deck. You can roll that forward, roll it backwards. And it's pretty neat. If you do that, those back stops will hold the log. You can get them all square. But this thing is great. I split a bunch of wood the old-fashioned way, not necessarily with a maul. I have split it with a maul, but I've probably been selling wood since I was 16, somewhere in there. So we had an old splitter, saw it all with a chainsaw, load it in the truck, come back, unload it, stack it in a stack, then split it, and then pitch it up into a pile. Then you might stack it again, or you may take it from the pile to the truck. I mean, you're talking about a ton of handling. This thing, now granted I'm fortunate enough to have some equipment, but with this thing, you really ain't even got to handle it. The way I've got this set up, I load it with that machine. It goes in this pile. I'm not gonna stack that. I don't want to touch this wood any more than I have to. I may touch it to re-split it. If it's too big, I'll bring it back and run it through again. But I've got a rock bucket for the skid steer. I scoop it up with the rock bucket, kind of shake it, get the dust and dirt out, load it onto my dump trailer, and wherever it's going, I dump it. If they want it stacked, I'm sorry, get a high school kid, something like that, or buy it from somebody who stacks it. It's not really, you know, lazy or anything, but I've got enough work going on. Last thing I want to do is be handling this firewood. All right, y'all enjoy. We're gonna get this thing going and kind of show you what this thing will do. I don't know where the best place to put this would be. Maybe right here. Oh yeah, that ought to be a decent shot. choked her down. It had probably cooled off enough anyway. So there you have it. That was one table. This thing is very efficient. It works really great when you've got somebody feeding logs and one person running the levers and all. But we filled her up to the top again. I could knock that down and keep going, but I need to pull this forwards, clean all that out, back up, and we'll start again and just keep carrying this pile on over. So this thing is really neat. It was money well spent, that's for sure. Of course, I spent a lot of money to make a little, but this really gives me something good to do with all this byproduct from land clearing. Most of this stuff, like that one right there, was pushing a saw log. We cut it a little short. That's typically bigger than what I bring home. It's borderline. I probably have to cut a log or two like that. That one was too big to fit. This will cut, I think it's supposed to, the 14 means 14 inch. It will do a 16 inch round, but that's pushing it. So I've kind of got a little system. I usually have a trash can over here, and I'll put those two black buckets underneath there. All that stuff drops down in them. I keep dumping them in the trash can, and I set this right here up, catch all my sawdust, and I can just carry all this stuff over there easily and kind of clean it up, keep it clean, because as I move this pile forwards, all that stuff's in there. If you just leave it, you've got a really trashy product at the end. But if you see here, and there's some fines in there, but it's all stuff that you could use for kindling, where if you had that much in there, people be like, hey, I don't need all this trash. Most of the people that I carry wood to aren't very picky anyways, but I just try to keep a decent clean product. This thing has a 32.5 horsepower Kohler Command. Pretty good size fuel tank. Not sure how many gallons that is, but this hydraulic oil is actually your bar oil as well. I think some of the newer ones, the larger models of a dyna, have their own container reservoir for bar oil. This one, it just runs same as the hydraulic oil. You can raise these legs up. I think you actually take the legs off. You pin these in those 3 spots there. This conveyor breaks in half right here. Quick release on both sides. You fold that down, winch this up, and then let's see, yep, right here and there, there's 2 bars I have that you pin that to there. In 15 minutes you can have this thing ready to go down the road on to the next one. I don't rent this out. I really don't rent any equipment. I'll let, you know, some friends borrow something, but I could probably make some money with renting it, but you just don't know who you got, you know, running your stuff. And I'm not really looking to deal with the headache of, hey, this is broke, can you come fix it? I've got it on rent, I'm not paying you for it, whatever. But hope y'all enjoyed that. There'll be more in the future. I need to start videoing more of this stuff.